Welcome to the Mile High Coatings Podcast, where we elevate your spaces to a new peak in quality. Hosted by David Nanninga, president of Mile High Coatings, this podcast explores how expert residential painting, concrete coatings, and epoxy flooring can transform garages, basements, patios, and commercial spaces across Colorado's Front Range. So grab your favorite beverage, sit back, and dive into the world of high-quality coatings.
Welcome, everyone. I'm Nick George, co-host and producer, here in the studio with David Nanninga, president of Mile High Coatings. David, how's it going?
Good, Nick. How are you doing this morning?
Good. Over the years, you've grown a remarkable following. However, some listeners may not be familiar with your full journey. So let's take it from the top. Could you share a little background about your company and what you do?
Of course. So Mile High Coatings is a specialty coatings contractor. So we do house painting, commercial painting, and then we do a lot of concrete coatings, such as epoxy, polyaspartic, urethanes, and we do concrete polishing. And since 2016, we've also done cabinet installations in garages, so like custom storage solutions.
Nice. When you're not busy running your business, what do you do for fun?
Mountain biking. In the winters, we like to ski. Also play in a basketball league weekly. And then in the summers also, in addition to mountain biking, play some golf.
We know marketing is key to any business's success. So how do you market your business?
Well, that's certainly been a journey. What we're currently doing is some of our in-home magazine kind of advertisements, like the Home Mag. It's kind of those monthly mailers that you get in the mail, and they've got a bunch of home improvement type of businesses, and those seem to generate some interest. And then online search and paid ads those are the two main avenues of marketing that we do now. But over the years, it's been a lot of stuff from bus benches and kind of the billboard style throughout northern Colorado. At one point I tried advertising through the newspaper, and that didn't yield great results. But yeah, and then of course word of mouth is huge now. Now that we've established and we've been around for 17 years, that's huge. Repeat business. We work with a number of contractors as well. So,
David, you're a very busy person. In your own words, why are you doing this?
Well, I'd say, first and foremost, the most important thing is family. So, I have a family to support. I've got a wife and 3 girls. So that would be the first and foremost. But that wasn't, of course, always the case when I started Mile High Coatings in 2008. I didn't have a family. I wasn't married. So I think the why has certainly evolved. Initially it was garnered out of it, some previous experience that I had at college, while attending Colorado State, and I was kind of thrust into sort of starting my own business because I was working at another company here in Fort Collins, and they got sold, and that company completely shut down. And so, it was kind of one of those moments where it's like, do I look for another job, or do I give it a go and start my own business? And obviously I decided to start my own business, and we started by pounding the pavement and literally knocking on doors to get leads and generate business that way. And it was certainly tough, but I knew it was an effective way, and cheap. It was all me, relying on literally as much time as I wanted to put in it, knocking on doors. I knew it would yield results, and it did. And so yeah, I guess the why has certainly evolved. Certainly those first couple of years were challenging and everything, and I think that was certainly the initial why was the embrace of the challenge. I was in my 20s. I didn't have a lot to lose, so it was like, okay, embrace this challenge, see if it works. And it was really fun, and you just have like, that young eternal optimism. And, and then as things grow and evolve, the why changes. And now it's, I have a number of employees and people that we work with that have families. And so it's pretty cool to think about the fact that, I have a business that can support, employees and their families. So that's certainly pretty cool. So I really enjoy that aspect of it. And certainly I still do, on-site estimates, occasionally just to make sure that I'm, feeling kind of the pulse of the market and I enjoy reading and talking to people as well. So.
Love it. David, we'll catch you on the next episode where we'll dive into some frequently asked questions. You have a fantastic rest of your day.
Cool. Thanks, Nick. You too.
Thanks for tuning in to the Mile High Coatings podcast. Ready to give your space a fresh, durable finish? Visit milehighcoatings.com for a free price quote or call 970-314-1023. At Mile High Coatings, we're not just painting walls, we're setting a new peak in quality. Until next time, keep your standards high and your coatings higher.